Hey, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This is going to be a Worlds Collide deck. So far, out of the, I guess three decks that I've personally opened, I haven't had a single one that did not have one of the new houses. And in fact, the decks that my kids have opened also had the new houses. Allie got Saurians, which would be her preference for sure, and JoJo got Star Alliance, which would be her preference. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we have Logos, Dees, and Star Alliance. Can't get away from these, and wow, this could be interesting. Again, Logos and Star Alliance can really accelerate a deck, and then Dees can just do some crazy mean stuff. So this is Boundless Ted Stout, and we have that sort of like digital pattern and almost like a big head looking thing going on there. That's interesting. Oh, that's the language sticker there. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, starting with the Dees, we have Buzzle. It's a 3-power beast with Skirmish. It has a play/fight effect that says you may purge one of Buzzle's neighbors. If you do, ready Buzzle. Sounds harsh, but it can be pretty good under the right circumstances. And it's a may, so you're never forced to purge it, but if you need it ready in a pinch, it can be ready in a pinch, and that's pretty cool. We got 2 of those. Then we have a Dendrix. It's a 5-power demon. It has the fight effect. Your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Pretty good. Edoram is a 4-power demon with the Reap effect. Destroy a creature of the house with the most creatures in play. Misery Exploit, an action, gain an amber for each damaged enemy creature. Interesting. Ooh, Rock Grub, 1-power beast. When you play it, your opponent loses an amber. When it reaps, you archive it. Pretty cool. Bloodshard Imp, 2-power imp. After a creature reaps, its controller must sacrifice it. That's back from Age of Ascension. Next we have Bornit's Touch. This is awesome. It's an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you reveal the top 5 cards of a player's deck. Purge a card revealed this way. Shuffle the other revealed cards into that deck. And yeah, that's an excellent combo breaker. Soul Fiddle is an artifact, an item. It exhausts to enrage a creature. So that's pretty cool. Means that creature won't be able to reap until after it fights, which seems good. Ooh, and then we have Ortannu. He's a 7-power demon with the reap effect. Return each copy of Ortannu's binding from your discard pile to your hand. For each one returned this way, deal 2 damage to a creature with 2 splash. Wow, that's pretty solid. That means we're going to get 2 Ortannu's bindings, which gains you a bonus amber and has you deal 2 damage to a friendly creature. So that's it for the Dees. Interesting. We have a little bit of amber control. Definitely some board annoyance and control with the Bloodshard Imp, and as well as the Soul Fiddle. Those are going to do some annoying things to your opponent's board. Bornit's Touch lets us maybe get in the way of their combos, and then we have solid board control with Ortannu. If we can get that rolling, or the Ortannu with Misery Exploit could be quite interesting. That could roll up to quite a lot of amber, and then some pretty decent support creatures down in here. I feel like the Buzzles, I'm not super excited about purging any of these, except, although, honestly, purging like the Bloodshard Imp is pretty okay. Yeah, so cool stuff. Let's see what we got in logos. We got a Babbling Bibliophile. This is a 1-power cyborg scientist that has the Reap effect, draw 2 cards, which is amazing. So if you can keep this out for a turn, that's very strong. We have 2 of those. It's so wimpy, it's so easy to kill, but if it can stay out, I mean, what an amazing effect. Reap, draw 2 cards. Ooh, Edai Eddy 4x4. It's a 3-power AI scientist with the play effect archive a card. And it says your opponent's keys cost +1 amber for each card in your archive. So it is key cost boosting for archives. We don't have. That's it. Ooh, interesting. The Rock Grub archives itself, so that could give us some recurring archives. It'll drop back and forth. We'll see what else we get. Hapsis is a 5-power mutant scientist. After an enemy creature is destroyed fighting Hapsis, ward Hapsis and draw a card. Sanitation Engineer is a 4-power cyborg scientist with hazardous 1. And Reap, discard a card from your hand. Titan Guardian is a 5-power beast and cyborg with 1 armor. Taunt and destroyed. If Titan Guardian is not on a flank, draw 2 cards. I love that because that might help protect our Babbling Bibliophiles. Maybe our Edai. Yeah. Pretty good. Ooh, we have 2. That's great. I always worry, like, these are not going to be decks. These are houses that aren't going to have a lot of huge creatures. But we did pretty good for decent-sized creatures in Dees. Having some in Logos is nice, too. And we could get some decent-sized creatures in Star Alliance. Then we have Wild Wormhole. Classic. Gain a bonus amber, play the top card of your deck. And so far, I haven't seen anything. There's no like board wipe in here, which is maybe a problem. But, there's nothing in here so far that I would be sad to play with Wild Wormhole. So happy to see it there. Wormhole Technician is like the creature version of Wild Wormhole in a way. It's a 3-power cyborg scientist, and its Reap effect is reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a Logos card, play it, otherwise archive it. Oh, and that gives us an ability to get some more archives going for Edai. We have 2 of those. Cool. And then, Mimic Gel. That's interesting. Mimic Gel is a 0-power shapeshifter and mutant. Mimic Gel cannot be played unless there is another creature in play. Mimic Gel enters play as a copy of another creature in play, except it belongs to House Logos. That is cool. I mean, that means that's super fun. That's a rare. That means we could have effectively 2 Ortannus, 1 in Logos. That'd be pretty good. It could it could enter as a second Rock Grub and archive itself. It could enter as a second Edai. Wow, lots of cool options there. And we have 2 of those. Wow, that is fun to have 2 copies of Mimic Gel. I'm really excited about that. That'll be, wow, that's a fun card. We'll have to see how that works out. All right, let's look at our Star Alliance setup now. We have Arms Master Melina. She's a 4-power human with hazardous 3, and her neighbors also get hazardous 3. That's pretty cool, pretty good. Calm Officer Kirby is a 3-power human with play, fight, and reap. You may play a non-Star Alliance artifact, upgrade, or action card this turn. Explo Rover is a 3-power robot with skirmish, but it can be played as an upgrade instead of a creature with the text, this creature gains skirmish. And that would be really good to throw on, it could be good to throw on like a Calm Officer Kirby. It could be good to throw onto Hapsis, perhaps. Although once he gets that first fight, hopefully he doesn't need it. It could go nicely onto the Dendrix. Yeah. Oh, we have 2 of those. That's cool. 3 Explo Rovers. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities there. I even think it would be crazy to get like a really cool copy of something with Mimic Gel and then explode over it and give it skirmish. That could be pretty useful. First Officer Frayne is a 4-power human with a play fight reap effect. A friendly creature captures an amber. Oh, and then we have Melina's Blaster. This is an upgrade with a bonus amber. The creature it's attached to gets fight reap. You may deal 2 damage to a creature, or attach Melina's Blaster to Arms Master Melina. After you attach Melina's Blaster to Arms Master Melina, you may deal 3 damage to a creature. That's her right there. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool effect. And it's all May, so you're not forced to do damage if you don't want to. Censor Chief Garcia is a 3-power human with play fight reap. Keys cost +2 during your opponent's next turn. That is really useful. We have Stealth Mode, which gives you a bonus amber and says your opponent cannot play action cards during their next turn. Helmsman Spears, 2-power human, fight reap. Discard any number of cards from your hand. Draw a card for each card discarded this way. It's a great way to milk a little more out of a turn. Really cool. Quad Recorder. It's an upgrade. Your opponent's keys cost +1 for each house represented among friendly creatures to a maximum of 3. Encounter Suit. After an action is played, but before it resolves, ward this creature. Oh, that is really good. I'd love to put that on to, let's say, Ortannu, perhaps the Mimic Gel if it's on something really good, perhaps the Babbling Bibliophile. Yeah, those are interesting options. And a lot of upgrade. I mean, potentially, if we count them all, if we count everything that could be an upgrade as an upgrade, we have 6 upgrades in Star Alliance, which I think is that's going to be fairly common for that to be the case. A lot of upgrades there. 3 cards in here that boost key costs, so we potentially have a lot of ways to boost key cost, and also ways to keep creatures alive. So, you know, that we could potentially, if we have quad recorder and encounter suit on the same creature, that creature is going to be difficult to kill, not impossible, but difficult to kill. Yeah. And, you know, then you have Censor Chief Garcia in there. She's going to be getting a lot of good value. A little bit of capture, not a lot of amber control other than the increasing key costs in here, right? Frayne captures, but we don't have any steel. We have some good flexibility with the Mimic Gel, though. I mean, that could do really interesting stuff. The interesting thing about Mimic Gel, yeah, even if that other creature leaves play, I guess Mimic Gel still stays out there. So that's cool stuff. Yeah, nothing I would be sad to get with the Wild Wormhole unless I didn't have a creature out. But hopefully you do. There's enough creatures in here, you're going to have them out. Yeah, this seems like an interesting deck. I think it has potential to have pretty decent board control and have some amber control through those cost boosts. A little bit of pushing your opponent around with things like Stealth Mode and the Bornet's Touch. Rock Grub lets us remove an amber. So there are some ways. And we can potentially thin the deck out a little bit too by using the Buzzle. If we want to get rid of some cards like Bloodshard Imp, for example. We could get rid of that pretty easily with the Buzzle and have it not come back. Yeah, this seems good. Should be fun. I think these are all good houses. They seem to go together pretty well here. If anything, I'd love to have some steel, and I would always love to see a little more bonus amber. yeah, 6 bonus amber is not a lot, but I think the deck is going to move fast enough to compensate for that and get enough things on the board to compensate, but it could struggle a little bit just because there's not a ton of straight up, bonus amber, just play cards and win. So you have to work for things a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it and that it gets you excited about Worlds Collide. Hopefully we'll get to forge some keys soon. Until then, yeah, have a great everything. Hope things are going well for you, and get out there and forge those keys.